Hey there, this is Steve with Smitty's Flybox. Today we're going to tie a little, I call it a CDC stone. It's just a buggy little stonefly nymph. I like to use it while nymphing under an indicator in shallow runs, like a little yarn indicator, or just below a dropper. I've had great success on the South Fork of the Snake River, below a dropper like a chubby or something like that. So anywhere you have a lot of little golden stones and you want to try a different pattern, this is a good one because it's not crazy heavy, has just enough weight to just kind of get down there. So I'm using a Daiichi Stonefly hook size 14. These are 2.8 millimeter brass beads. And what I'm going to do is I've just got one rubber leg here, and we're going to do the antennas first. So let's take our thread just behind the eye of the hook. All right there, I'm just going to fold that leg over so I can get the little antenna out there. So I'll just gather those and make a few wraps there and secure that in, and that'll be the antenna. And then we'll just quickly whip finish right here and return with our thread. So we throw in a little whip finish. Now we can just slide our beads up there tight like that. Alright, now we'll just reattach our thread back here along the shank, and we'll begin building this fly behind those beads. So once our thread is started, and I'm going to just pull that copper bead back just slightly so I've got just a little gap between the two, and just bring my thread in front of it and back behind it, just so I can create a little space there that I can work with. Now we'll just start with the tail. So again, I'm going to repeat that step. I just took these fine rubber legs, I like to just fold it over like that, then I can gather them, tie those in, and then just lay those together right along the top of the hook as I work my way back to there. And then they should fork out kind of like that, how we like it. Put a little flash like this. This is just pearl flash, mylar flash. So I'm just going to take one strand, just lay it along the top there and tie that in so that it's nice and flat, hanging out the back just between those tail legs. Alright, let's take our thread behind the bead, and this is where we're going to add our ribbing, our wire. So I have just this amber colored wire, and just carefully we'll just lay that right there on an angle and hold that right along the side of the hook all the way back to our tie-in point. And now we can begin dubbing forward. So I've got some amber bug dub. I really like this color for golden stones. It's got a little shimmer in it, more of a natural dubbing, so it's easy to work with. And I'll just carefully just taper that body going forward, just get a little bit thicker as I go, and we'll work that right there to the bead. Now I'm just going to pull over that flash, lay that flat, hold it with my right hand, and drop my thread over with my left hand about 3 times, 2 or 3 times. We'll fold that back over and trim that off. And now we can bring our dubbing, now we can bring our wire over our dubbing as we work forward. And that creates kind of the abdomen of this fly. Once we reach that bead there, we can tie that off, hold it with our right hand. And we'll drop our thread over with our left hand. And now we can trim that off. Let's just make a few wraps right there just to kind of make sure that's all secured in there. Now I'm just going to continue with the dubbing. So we'll go a couple turns right behind that bead. It'll come up underneath. Oops. Bring our thread up underneath or over and add a few more turns of dubbing here to kind of fill that in, almost not cover up, but kind of make that a little more subtle with that bead. All right, now we can put on some legs, and I've sent some CDC. So the pack of CDC I sent, you're going to get lots of different, you're going to get some bigger feathers that you can actually tie by the tip. Maybe something like this, and you can tie it by the tip and actually wrap it around for a full palmer there. I'm going to do it a little more subtle. I'm going to use these little tiny tips that I've sent. There's a whole bag full of that, so I'm just going to take one on each side and just kind of hold it there, and so it just splays around. Let's make a couple turns right there. And so why CDC? Well, it's a natural material that just adds a lot of natural bugginess to flies. So yeah, let's do one on this side too. Even those tips up, and just kind of, I like to just almost wrap it around the fly just a little bit like that, and that kind of helps me just get those feathers just kind of splayed around there. It helps the fly breathe a little bit, and I don't know, it just seems to catch fish when you have a little CDC on there. Let's make a few turns back, and I've just got couple little CDC tufts out there. So, all right, now let's just add our rubber leg. So I'm going to take one leg on this. So again, I'm working behind the top bead now. We'll tie that one in. Oops. Right there. And let's do the other side. Secure that one in. Like that. Kind of move those in place. And now let's add more dubbing. And we'll just kind of dub around these guys and finish this fly off. So let's just come right up on between those legs. I'm going to pull the back legs back a little bit just so I can see what I'm doing here. Build a nice little solid collar right there. And that just seems to kind of clean everything up. Like that. So that's how we're looking right there. Alright, now I'll do a little whip finish. Just whip finish right up there underneath, in between those legs like that. And if you got a little teeny tiny drop of glue, we can lay it right in there. Even up those legs.